How's it going, everyone? It is Thursday, June 13th, 2024. Let's get into the video of the day. I gave two picks yesterday, one potential long, one potential short. The first was CELH as a short, and I gave Microsoft as a long. Now, I gave pretty specific criteria for what I want to see in the market before I go long or short. I wanted to see the market either have a strong bullish reaction to the FOMC or a strong bearish reaction to the FOMC. And we didn't really get that. We just got a fairly muted reaction. Market opened right around where it closed. Closed right around where it opened. We ended up going nowhere for the entire day. So, did not end up taking any of those trades. And if you did take those trades, you did have a chance. They're still looking good. I don't think they're bad picks, but in terms of the market conditions, didn't see what I wanted to see, so I did not take the trades. So we'll see what sets up later today, but I'm going to take them off our list right now since we are not looking at those. WDC continues its move up from yesterday. So if you didn't want to exit for pennies, you can certainly exit for pennies today. I think it actually sets up for a really nice swing scalp as well. So I love the strength in the stock. I confirmed the breakout, and we have plenty of room until maybe the top of this channel over here. So I may have to redraw this channel because it sometimes gets a little bit warped. So something like that is pretty decent. You can maybe do a wider channel there, but I don't know what another connection point would be. So a little awkward to see where the top of this channel is. But certainly quite a bit of room to move up on this stock. So WC, we're going to take our profits on our put credit spread. Market, I don't know if it's going to pull back or if it's going to compress at this range. But that is going to be a nice win for us. I'm going to mark that as such. Okay. Other pick over here was Liberty. So I mentioned yesterday how we had this compression. We got this pullback up. The stock preserved that trend. Got this nice bearish hammer, and it said, hey, look, this is pretty similar to what we saw on the 31st. I think this is what institutions need. You grab some liquidity over here, and you get that next leg lower. We flush out any of some bottom pickers coming on at this 2070 level, and we took some really nice profits. So we're to take our profits on this stock today, bouncing up a little bit with the market. Market has a pretty LPT sort of day. We may have found support. We're going to get to that in a second, but I think these are some nice profits we can take in the trade. It's close to the bottom of the position, and it's made a pretty nice move on the stock. So I would take at least partial gains right now, and you can see if you want to take full gains, maybe depending on how the market ends today and how the stock ends today. But we're going to count Liberty as a win. All right, so nice wins to start off the month. Okay, so remove these and remove this, and we are flat. We are in all cash on our picks so far. So market analysis yesterday broke above this little compression here, new all-time high, gapped up. Now we're just kind of compressing, testing the range over here. To me, it feels like a pretty similar scenario to what we saw here. I want to see if we get any sort of leakage and if we just sort of have this range over here for a little bit of time. I think there's going to be fairly low probability for the remainder of this week, which I guess is just today and tomorrow. And for the remaining rest of the month until the beginning of July, where we get the next round of economic releases. There's not a lot of meaningful information coming out. Retail sales is coming out, which is minor. There's a PCE, which is coming at the end of the month. The second look, or I guess the third look at the GDP also coming out at the end of the month, which is not as significant as that first look. So a lot of this is saying that we're not going to move anywhere crazy. I think we're just going to kind of drift around over here. That's my bias for the next 2 weeks. So long-term bias here, I'm still mildly bullish. We have this breakout. We haven't immediately given that back up. So that tells us that buyers are engaged. And it tells us that we want to be a little bit more careful on the short side. We can still take some short trades, but we don't want to overstay our welcome. Here's the trend just kind of zooming out a little bit for the past couple of months. So we had this strong trend, deeper pullback, made a marginal new high, had a shorter pullback, again tested this high, and then we got a bit of a breakout. So I think the price action more recently has been a little bit more bullish. There's just not a lot of volume in this move, and it's been a little bit patchy. So it's not the most bullish move, but I think it is certainly mildly bullish, right? The trend is still going up. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. So that tells us what direction we are going in. Shorter term market bias, like I mentioned, this week, maybe next week, next 2 weeks, mildly neutral, I would say. I think at this level, it does feel a little bit chasey to enter some swings, unless we see a lot of compression over here. So we hold this gap up for a couple of days, and then we get a breakout through the high. Then that tells us that buyers are engaged, and then I would probably take some longs in that scenario. If I were to take some shorts, I'd want to see maybe a situation like this, where we do get some sort of compression here, a nice bearish engulfing candle, and then some weakness over here, and then we get that next leg lower. So we got some weakness over here, next leg lower. But I would not overstay my welcome on the short side. I would get into great stock, great entry point, and then sell into strength like we got over here. Those are the stocks that I would select in this mildly bullish to neutral environment on the short side. I have a little bit more staying power on the long side, but I want to get good entries. Now let's take a look at the M5 chart. What the heck's going on today? So gap up, we had the PPI come out, but PPI is not going to be a big market mover right now because we got all the information from CPI and FOMC. There's just not a ton of surprise, I think, on the PPI report. So here's our initial reaction. Got close to the all-time high, got a smackdown, and then it was like PPI never really happened. From yesterday, we had this low. We were just kind of chopping around. Overseas markets didn't really move strongly one way or the other. And on this small gap on the open, we got this fill in pretty quickly. So we got the gap fill over here. We're testing the lows, and then we get this weak bounce on this bullish cross. So this bounce is looking pretty good. We stall at VWAP over here, and then the market tries to make its next leg lower. So we get that next leg lower, and we poke through the gap, and then we get this nice, strong, bullish engulfing candle at 12:30. So when I saw that, I thought that was a pretty significant bar. You could almost say that is a key bar because it's quite literally a key bar at the 12:30 point. What does this mean? Well, we poke through here. You could say, yeah, we did make a new low, but to me, we're triggering some sell stops. This is fairly marginal. We didn't get any follow through. And as soon as we got a decent price, we gobbled it back up. And now we're actually making a new high compared to this relative high at 1140. So buyers and sellers are kind of fighting it out here. Right now, I think buyers have control. We've established this support here at 540. We have some room until the top of the range. And just zooming out a little bit here to see what's going on. We have this mildly bearish channel right now on SPY. So I think it does look like it's favoring the short side. But you can definitely take some nice relative strength longs over here. I think this is how I draw the channel. So I look at for this channel as the first kind of target. And then if we're wrong about the channel, and really it's something more along the lines of maybe something like this. If I were to draw a horizontal channel, right? And if it's something like this, and perhaps the movement is actually more sideways, then we can actually go and test the top, this all-time high over here. So we have about $3 to the top of the range. So I'm not quite sure what the structure of the market is right now. But all I know is that we have some support established over here. So I'm going to lean on this as support. And this is a nice opportunity, I think, for some day trade longs. On the swing trading basis, you could probably take his swing scalp. So I get an excellent entry point, sell into profits. What I like to do with these swing scalps is go for like a 1 ATR move. So take those, sell into profits, and then reload on the next sort of level over here. So I'm going to look for a nice couple things here. Let's see if there's any nice day trades that I've tagged, as well as if there's any potential nice swings. So I'm going to give one swing short right away, which is you. So first, let's start. And actually, I want to go to the weekly chart for you because I don't usually do this, but just in terms of these price patterns, right? So if we just ignore everything, just look at the price pattern over here. We get you. I think this is the IPO. We got this double top over here. Have a nice, very, very strong bearish move. And then we're preserving the gains of this move for roughly 2 years. And then we actually break through this low right over here on the 20th. And since then, we have had steady selling all the way down. So just as a very longer term context, very bearish stock on the longer term. Now, on a daily chart over here, you're seeing this trend. This is the very last tail of this. Very strong bearish trend all the way down, has been unable to come up for air. And this is while the market has been rallying this entire time. So let's see, it peaked over here in December. And then since December, it has been rallying all the way down. It is down pretty much 2/3 of its value, or maybe a little more, maybe 60% of its value. So certainly very, very weak. Now, in a shorter term trend, very steady price action. We're just kind of riding this 8 EMA down. We got a little bit of profit taking here. The trend slowed down a little bit. We got some green candles, so there were some buyers here. We pulled back a little bit with the market, and then very similar setup to Liberty. We got this bearish candle over here, this bearish hammer, closed right around the 8 EMA, so not any sort of significant pullback. And then we broke through this compression, and we're making a new low. I think this is the lowest the stock has ever been in its entire history. So I love this setup. It's not overextended from the 8 EMA. It's kind of this compression break over here. So very, very nice setup on the daily chart. If we zoom in here, it broke through. This is the compression low here. So it broke through this level. And now, while the market has been rallying up for the past, I don't know, hour or so, the stock has been flatlined and it is hugging its low of the day. I'm going to make this a little bit higher. Or actually, I should go to my actual M5 chart here. So it's been hugging the low of the day. Excellent volume since the breakout over here. So you can see here volume, yeah, it's looking good, it's looking good, it's looking decent. Break through this level, and now you see the volume has started to pick up, and now it is sellers are smacking it down. So I took you around this level here. I am in a half size position here, and my plan is just to see really how the stock and the market end for today. I want to see you close below this compression level, and I want to see it preserve its relative weakness throughout the day. If it does that, then I'm going to add the rest of my position onto the trade. And my premise is that this market is either going to be flat or it's going to be bearish. So that's my premise for the market, maybe neutral to maybe slightly bearish. In the shorter term, I mentioned that slight bearish channel here on the M15. And I don't believe that we're going to make a new all-time high in the next couple of days. I think the all-time high is set. So that's my market premise. My stock premise is that as long as the market is flat or it is weak, then U is going to take off and I can ride this guy out. So because I'm looking for a swing scalp, a 1 ATR move or so, I plan to take half of my profits into strength around $16. So that's a nice 1 ATR move. And then depending on the price action, I'm going to ride the other half here if it exceeds that target, or if we get some nice steady drip down. So I can ride the other half of that move. I've been practicing scaling out of my trades. Just kind of gives me some more like Pete says, that kind of that warm fuzzy feeling of, okay, you got some profits. It's a little bit easier to manage the position. So eventually I'm going to work my way up to adding on here, but I like scaling out right now, especially in this more choppy and more neutral environment where I don't have as much confidence in any market sort of tailwind or headwind, so I don't feel as comfortable adding to these trades. So U short is going to be my pick of the day. I'm going to add that to the YouTube picks. Let's see if there's anything else that's catching our fancy over here. SMCI was looking really nice today. I have an alert set at the high of the day. It's just poking through that. This chart here, you have both of the SMAs crossing. You also have the AVWAP. AVWAP E, which we already breached. So we're breaching through all of these. This could have some continuation. Probably test maybe this downward sloping trend line at 950. There's certainly some room there. I'd like to see this stock make a new high of the day. So we came here, pulled tested the SMA, and then we got this bounce off here. So I like the strength of this stock, especially when the market is having a very down day. If it can actually make a new high, then I could certainly take a day trade long or even an overnight swing, depending on how the market goes. So that may be my pick of the day. I'm just going to keep an eye on it later today. If it can't actually get a new high and really get some confirmation away and get some escape velocity away from this SMA, then I know that it's not as likely to continue higher or lower. Another strong stock today, SWKS, has been very nice. Has been just grinding up higher. And then we don't have a ton of room until the gap fill, which is coming up around maybe 106.40 is the gap fill, but there's certainly a little bit of room. There's a decent risk reward over here. So I like SWKS. WDC we mentioned. Excellent breakout, holding the gains today, kind of advancing up higher. HPE is also very nice. Nice post-earnings breakout, continuing up higher and surging up higher. So I'm going to recommend probably just U right now as a swing short. So we have one bearish position on. I don't want to take any put credit spreads at the moment. I want to wait for a market dip. I don't want to take any call credit spreads as well until we sort of see some sort of like bearish engulfing candle off the high. Then I feel comfortable taking some call credit spreads. So I'm just going to probably leave it at that. There's not any. There is one earnings time spread on RH. It has some times exceeded is pretty good, high difference, low option liquidity. So I think it's not exactly the setup that I like to trade for earnings time spreads. I like a little bit less times exceeded, a little bit higher option liquidity, although -4 is certainly doable. So nothing crazy on there. Yeah, I think this is just, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, just a good time to be patient, but it really does feel like a good time to be patient, just ride. If you have some longs, I guess you could have ridden them higher, but I'm really just waiting for the move to sort of stall out on one end or the other, and then I can get in on some swings on either direction. But in the meantime, we're just trading some really, really strong stocks that can ignore the market in the short-term time frame. So going to leave it at U for today. I guess one other thing I'll note here, I was watching the Tesla chart. It's trying to break out of this compression. So if we can actually hold and start to advance maybe above this level, I think Tesla has some potential in the future. So keep an eye out on that. Another one that is potentially interesting, BMY has a bit of a bounce here, starting to get faded. So BMY could be a pretty nice short in the future. Has to confirm below this downward sloping trend line, which it looks like it has not yet. But keep an eye on BMY as well. And then we also have a couple of call credit spreads that we're just keeping an eye on. So Sedge bounced up over here, moving back lower. So you can probably take one. This is like the nice pattern I want for a call credit spread on a stock like this. I like Sedge quite a bit. And then on some put credit spreads, I'll just go to my list of some nice put credit spreads that we're going to keep an eye on. We already called that WDC. Coin is pretty decent. It's in this upward sloping channel. So if you can get one kind of around, I mean, if you can get one really at 210, that would be great. But if you even get somewhere like at 15, 220, there's a lot of IVs in this stock. It's been grinding higher with crypto. So I think coin is a nice PCS to keep our eye on. EMD, we called out for a call credit spread. So we just want to see a little bit of a bounce. ENVX kind of took off without us. It had a PCS potential here, and then it ended up breaking through that channel on the upside. So just keep your list out. Keep vetting your list for premium selling strategies over here for some good day trades. And then just be patient. You don't have to force a trade if you don't have to. That's kind of what I've been telling myself. Just settling for really great trades as they come. And in this sort of month, you only need a few really great trades to make your month. So thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll take a look at how U is doing in tomorrow's video.